Sunday, December the 22nd, 2024. This is the second of two poems I posted that day. It's Anachronism 4560. It's called More Colors, number 7. And it is an acronymic poem. I'll tell you what the first letter of each line spells out, top to bottom, when I get finished with reading the poem. Boyfriends are not what I'm supposed to be talking about this go-round, rather extolling a subject at hand or creating more fictive fun narratives, keeping it frivolous and relevant. In other words, to basically reiterate in a straightforward manner the device of this era of acronymic poems, based on the plethora of color chips I have left, is thus far trending less romantic, less thematic, more one-offs based on the here and now, or whatever it is. This, may I just say, rather than boring eccentric brain concocts a moment, I sit to concoct one. These seem more relaxing, a way to wind down, but it is an almost impossible it is almost an impossible task not to bring the hero up now and again. In this one, for example, he floated me $90 so my bills don't bounce in a pinch. Night falls. It's nearly Christmas. If this one's a bit flimsy, is it a good or a bad thing? And that's the end of the regular part of the poem, so it spells the color chip. The acronym is before the rain, which is not right now, because right now is during the rain, actually. It's been raining here for a while. But there is a long asterisk at the end of this particular one. These are usually really short, but here's an asterisk. And the asterisk comes there's an asterisk. Is it pointed? Yeah, it's at the very end. If this one's if this one's a bit flimsy, is it a good or bad thing? And then there's an asterisk, and the asterisk is, and if one has to clarify something within the explanation of a series segment's shtick, this is very meta, I guess, wouldn't the easy response be his roundabout way of saying what he's currently writing about in one of his series sections with the larger project? I mean, I have to include a footnote, especially, but yet still differentiating fairly specifically between two seemingly similar series within the projects seems such a confusing meta. I have no idea what to call it. A cluing in the readers. Should there be any, ever, of what is transpiring? Might just be a way to create a life that isn't there. Does this then eradicate or further allow to remain stuck in his subconscious so as to not really talk about anything? But I dare you to suggest I talk about nothing in general. I didn't say it was relevant. I just argue it isn't nothing. That this might be a life that is worth recounting in some way presently and or in the future, should again one choose to read any of this. Many authors might call these particular meanderings juvenile, like I would call them that as well, mostly, in general, and that is what I say next. In the way they are presently presented. Go ahead. You may, if you want, preferably to my face. The joy that would bring, as I imagine it, is no doubt exponentially less than that which would be true were it to actually happen. And, you know, I appreciate this because, it's fun to be able to, talk about what I'm doing, which I'm doing a little bit more of lately. I do it every once in a while, really within this little project, because I do these little small projects, and usually they wind up making a lot of sense. They do a lot of, they're very thematic and all that other good stuff. This time I'm doing them just because I love doing these color poem acronymic poems that I did before. When I did them before, they were very romantic, in particular, about my relationship. But this time I'm just doing them, and I don't know how long I'll be doing them. I usually go about a month, sometimes 2 or 3 days on these things. But I've already started the 12th or 13th poem, I think. Whatever the case, this has turned into a long recording, but it's fun to play the idiot in these poems, I think. And the pretend philosopher, or the pretend, oh, is this really worthwhile, or is this good, or what is good, or what is love, and all this stuff. I like projecting that little weird individual that used to be in lots of artistic endeavor, artistic accumulations done by people, especially in poetry. It's just the thing that you do in poetry. Oh, what is art? Oh, whatever. And it's just kind of fun to just poke fun of the whole thing, even as I do it myself, which is, I surprise myself that I'm actually fall into this little shtick. But I do start. When I do narrative, when I start doing narrative, it's really hokey. If if you haven't noticed, when I do real narrative of fictive narrative, mostly fictive. I mean, it's all my narrative. Sometimes it's a compilation, sometimes it's absolutely real. But when it's just a story that I'm telling that is made up within this piece that I'm doing, that's an amalgam of now and then and whatever, that is when I get really hokey, I think, and that is cringy, I think is what we'd say today. And yet, so it's kind of fun to just meander about that cringiness.